Good morning, everyone. Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers here. And of course, there is one really good way to say Happy Father's Day to your dad. Carnitas, right? Of course, we happen to have a sale right after Mass. And you don't have to be a father to enjoy carnitas, so please. At the McCarty house, we celebrated Father's Day last night. And I think it's because my sons loved me so much they couldn't bear to wait another day. Either that or there were other plans today. I have to go to work right after Mass. But I can honestly tell you that being a father is one of the greatest blessings in my life. And my earliest memories as a father really helped me to gain a greater appreciation of my own dad. So I am blessed to have two sons. And so on two different occasions, I have had the awesome experience of holding my newborn son for the very first time. And both of those times I was overwhelmed by the all-consuming feeling of love that I had for that little baby. I mean, he was just a little squirmy thing. Couldn't really do anything except eat, sleep, and poop. Never seen him before in my life. And yet I loved him beyond measure. I loved him with a love unlike any other love that I had ever experienced in my life. And I remember thinking both times, wow, I mean, this is how my dad felt about me. You know, my dad passed away a few years before I was a father for the first time, but I felt his calming presence with me on both of those days, as I had so many times before then and since that day. Now, in the gospel passage that we just heard, Jesus and his disciples get into a boat to cross the Sea of Galilee, and they encounter this violent storm. And the disciples are terrified. I mean, the boat is filling up with water. It's in danger of sinking. Jesus is unfazed. I mean, these guys are freaking out. And I would be too. I don't blame them, right? I mean, they're in danger of drowning. Jesus is taking a nap. But they wake him, of course, and he rebukes the storm. He calms the sea. He calms the wind. And the first thing he does after that is he questions their faith. He says, "Why were you terrified? Do you not yet have faith?" I mean, that seems like kind of a harsh question. But it's a question that we might want to ask ourselves in times when we get anxious or worried or terrified in a circumstance that's beyond our control. And when Jesus asks this question, do you not yet have faith? What is he really asking? Is he asking, do you not have faith that I, Jesus, can calm this storm? Or is he asking, do you not have faith that even if we were to perish in this storm, everything will be okay? And I think the answer is yes. Yes. Have faith that Jesus can calm the storm. And yes, have faith that even if we are to perish, Jesus has prepared a place for us in the heavenly kingdom. Now we know, of course, in the gospel passage, Jesus did calm the storm. And he continues to calm storms in our lives today. And this past year and a half of the pandemic has been a stormy season for all of us. And I don't know about you, but I have depended on Jesus more than ever to help calm me in those stormy times when I started freaking out over things that were beyond my control. And yes, Jesus did bring calm to my life even in those times when I thought that He couldn't or wouldn't. And as I look back over the years of my life, I recognize many times when Jesus has provided calm in an otherwise distressful situation. And Jesus does not do this on His own. He enlists the help of important people in our lives. And among His many helpers are fathers and father figures. My dad helped Jesus to calm me more times than I can count during my childhood and into early adulthood. I remember being a young child with a skinned knee, and Dad was there to calm me. I remember being on the high school track meet, stressing out before a big meet, and Dad was there to calm me. But Dad's calming influence was never more profound than in his final months. I mean, the day after his 65th birthday, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and the prognosis was not good. The doctors estimated that he had less than a year to live. This was devastating news for our family, and I did not take it well. But Dad had a calmness about him, and he approached this most dire of circumstance with a courage, a grace, a dignity that I did not think possible. And I spent a lot of time with Dad in those months, and I came to understand that the source of his calmness, the source of that courage, that grace, that dignity was Jesus, was his faith in Jesus. I mean, Dad had incredible faith that even if he were to perish, Jesus has prepared a place for him in heaven. Honestly, that faith that Dad had made all the difference in the world to him. And it gave me a calmness that I thought was unattainable in those months. But I really took Dad's calming influence for granted up until that time. But in those final months, I saw something in my dad that changed my life forever. And what I saw was Jesus. I saw that calming presence of Jesus. Now, my dad is not a canonized saint. I hope that's not a shock to any of you. He's not likely to ever be a canonized saint, but I believe he is in heaven. And I ask his intercessions often. And I feel his calming presence often, as I did on those days when my sons were born. And I suspect that your fathers or father figures have had a calming influence in your life as well. And so for your homework today, this week, I invite you to reflect on a time when your father or a father figure helped to calm a storm or stormy season in your life. Offer a prayer of thanksgiving for that man. And if you can, reach out to him and thank him